We asked for your questions and you definitely delivered. From tire pressure to warranty drama to personal. Honestly, some of those questions deserve full videos, which will be coming soon. So let's start off with the question that we get the most. What tire pressure do we use on and off-road? For pavement roads, we do 50 in the front, 70 in the back.
As soon as we get off pavement on gravel roads, we'll drop the fronts down to 30 pounds, and then the backs we'll put down to 50. Now, if we're going to be on really hardcore roads where we really know we need extra traction, we'll lower it even more. But you can see this tire bulging out right now. We're at 30 pounds now. We'll go as low as 25, or if we're going to be on sand, we could potentially go as low as 20. You just have to be really careful not to take any really quick corners. And on the back, you could go as low as 40, but technically you could probably go down to 30. But be extra careful, all the weight is back here. You don't want to pop this tire off the rim.
We choose 30/50 for two reasons: comfort of the ride and actually airing up, because it takes some time. We've got it down to a science. Airing down can take us under 2 minutes, but airing up, we've taken it from taking out the hose, airing them up, putting the hoses away. It takes 13 minutes. Next question, how often did you have your van in for warranty work or service work? And we've actually only done two services, the A service and the B service. B service was quite a bit bigger than the A service, but pretty straightforward and easy.
So we ended up doing that early. Ours is a used van, so we got it at 14,000 miles. It was owned by Winnebago, so in theory, we think that they would have done good service, but we just wanted to touch all the bases.
Yeah, make sure everything was good to go. Now, when it comes to warranty, we've only had really two issues.
Right when we bought the van, we had a little bit of the original Winnebago warranty. And just so you know, you have two warranties you're dealing with. You've got Mercedes and then you got Winnebago. Winnebago is extremely low. I think it's like a year, which is pretty terrible. So get as much done as you can. On our very first trip out, the heater threw a code, and of course it was cold and we froze and we ended up leaving early.
Cold, yeah.
So basically the pump on the glycol heater just stopped working for whatever reason. We took it to Winnebago, we explained it to them, and then they politely said, yeah, we're not good at that. Take it to the place that puts them in, and it just happens to be across the river.
Yeah.
And they'll do it for you. Which is not what I was expecting. If you're going to have work done at a specific shop, ask them if they have the expertise to actually deal with it, because they might not, and they might redirect you somewhere else. The second issue we had, and if you're familiar with these vans, is they put in a specific alternator that basically melts down because it gets too hot and whatever. Ours took quite a while.
Yeah, but it did die.
It did die. We were out of warranty. In theory, we could have probably fought it. They would have just put the same one right back in and have it fail again. Yeah. We went the Rome rig. We just wanted it to be done and be fixed. Plus, it's a better product.
Which we covered that all of ourselves. We paid for that. We didn't have.
So as far as Winnebago warranty, not stellar service that we've had. And if I had the choice to buy an extended service contract, I would not. On the Mercedes side, maybe buy an extended contract on that, just because some of the prices are pretty ridiculous.
On the Mercedes side, we have not had any issues and haven't had to use the warranty.
The next question is, do you have hydronic heating? Answer is yes. We like it, but there's some exceptions to that. Just to briefly show you, this is the outside burner, basically the diesel burner under the van right there, and there's some pieces inside. This is underneath the bench seat, and this is the glycol tank, and that's the liquid that circulates all around the van. It gets warm, circulates, keeps everything hot. And then these are the radiators, and these will blow hot air out of here.
One thing we forgot to mention when we were talking about the warranty for the heater is that it actually started working magically when it was at the dealership to get fixed. Who knows what happened? So we didn't actually replace it. This heater, which does heat up our water, takes a while to heat up, about a good 15 minutes. And until it gets hot, it's kind of blowing cold air out at you. But it does work well when it's working. We've been sitting inside at 75 degrees in there with t-shirts on when it's 10 degrees outside. So it definitely heats the van up well.
Even though we have that nice big hydronic system, we do carry a spare heater, and it's for two reasons. One, that's failed on us once, and you got to have some kind of secondary heat source. This is just a little electric one. It actually works really well. It has a remote control, so I can do it from bed. Super handy. Second reason has to do with temperature. If you're going to store the van and it's not winterized, you can set the temperature on that little heater and it'll keep everything nice and toasty in here. There is one more bonus reason why we have that little electric heater. This outside part of the heater is surprisingly noisy if you're in a campground scenario. And if we're parked next to like a tent right here, I feel really bad about doing that. And so we will just run the electric heat instead.
Now for some personal questions. Are we getting a dog?
Kinda, but not really right now.
Not yet. We've actually had dogs our whole entire life. We've actually had 4 as a couple. And unfortunately, they have all passed. But our goals right now are major traveling.
We have some big international plans, and we would feel bad about still, having a dog that couldn't go to that.
Yeah.
And so we thought it best to just wait until those are all kind of out of our system.
Because we consider dogs part of the family, and we would definitely not want to leave one behind.
But we do really love Mateo and Pablo, I think their names are, and they...
That's the size small
yes,
ones?
they live, I'll put a picture in here. They live in a Unimog, and they travel around all the time, and that's the perfect size we want. We've had the big dog route.
We've had some small dogs.
We want some dogs that we can pick up with one hand. And
easily fit inside the van.
Next question is are you guys full-time?
We are not technically full-time, but we spend a heck of a lot of time in there.
Yes, we do. And everything we're doing at this point is setting up the van for full-time travel.
The next interesting question is Greg related to Red Green?
No, I'm not. We get this surprisingly. I think this is probably the most asked question. Am I his younger brother? Am I his cousin? I honestly didn't even know who it was. We had to go online and look it up, and we still don't really get it, but we get a lot of people, so there must be something there.
But he's not related. Next question is, do we have a shower curtain in our shower? And the answer is yes, we do. The Revel actually comes with one, but let me show you how they set it up, so in case you want to do one, you kind of have an idea. It actually has some built-in snaps right up on top, and the curtain snaps right into place. So we can take this down and wash it and stuff. We actually keep this shower curtain up all the time. I know there are a lot of people that take it down, but since we shower daily, we keep it up. Now, after we're done showering, we do the fan up here, open it up and turn it on, and this thing will dry out within 45 minutes easily. Next question is, do we have any special bedding? And the answer is simply no, we don't. The thing about the Revel in this setup is that there are basically 3 parts. You got the side here, the main bed, and the other side. So like fitting sheets on it is not great, but they do make special ones, but they are very expensive. We just have a normal flat sheet and we push it out how we need it when we need it. Now for the heavier blankets, we do have our backpacking quilts, but right now we're just using normal, like everyday, like queen comforters. Greg has one, I have one, and then I also have another quilt and then another fluffy blanket because I sleep cold and like to be nice and warm. We got the question posed to us, how do we keep our clothes clean and wrinkle-free? Well, we're not really wrinkle-free type of people because our clothes are just jammed right in here, but they do stay clean. In the Revel, there is an option in the shower that you can add a clothing rod right here. So you could hang your clothes to keep them wrinkle-free if you needed to.
Next question is quick bath tips, hair and grooming, and really the key is keeping everything in one place. I take showers daily. Some of them I'm just rinsing off. If you're not familiar with our system, we use the geyser system. It's a sponge and it pushes water through here. I can take a quick shower in probably less than a gallon of water. We've got full videos on that. But we got our towels all ready to go here. And then it's also key is like everything you would have on your bathroom counter and your drawers is all here. So when you're getting out of the shower, you do all your things, you got your mirror, and you're all done.
Next question is, best overland van expo in your opinion, East and West Coast? We've actually only ever been to the West Coast ones.
It's pretty easy though. If you're very van-centric, the adventure van expos are the way to go. Also, if you want to meet people. Yeah, if you're into off-roading at all and really just want to geek out on gear.
Yeah, definitely the overland one. And they also, like the ones that we've been to, they have the question and answering sessions, very informative.
Plus you get to meet non-van people as well. Mm-hmm. But the adventure van expos are a lot of fun, especially hanging out at night.
Yeah, and they're a lot smaller too. So I know we had a blast at the Bozeman one. And of course, it was the first time that they had it. And
so what was your favorite?
Well, I learned a lot in the overland, but I think meeting the people, I would say the adventure van shows.
I would go to the Overland Expo. There was so much there.
So it was almost too much, I think, but it was very fun. Next question is, do we use any apps like Mudflap? And the easy answer is nope, we sure don't. We haven't really looked into that one. The one that we do use though is Gas Buddy. That's just basically to hunt down where the cheapest diesel is. It does come in handy.
Have we used DEF at the diesel pumps? Some of the big gas stations will have a DEF pump right there. And I've only watched one person do it before, and they ended up squirting DEF all over, and I didn't want any part of that, so we haven't tried it. We just wait till the DEF gets at half, and that takes one full box. Last up is we want to talk about YouTube memberships. We had somebody comment that there was a video they clicked on and they couldn't watch it. First of all, I want to say that our weekly videos, all public, none of that is going to change. Yep. Think of YouTube memberships. It's basically Patreon, but it's on YouTube side. Sometimes YouTube will show it to random people and kind of see if they're interested. If you're not, that's totally fine. It just gives us a place to kind of build a community, be able to post some other stuff that we wouldn't necessarily make it into our weekly video.
And that is a wrap. Thank you to all of our YouTube members. We really appreciate it. You can go watch this video next. You can find us at exploretrekadventure.com, and we'll see you next time.